Batgirl. Batgirl. Hey everybody, Small GK. Final vlog for the night. First of all, I should say that I'm recording this on Saturday, September 14th. And as I record, there's a great deal of fear of tornadoes in the Midwest and in Texas. And let's all send our prayers and thoughts to all those people affected by the tornado. Tornadoes are scary. We had a lot of them when I was a kid in rural Michigan in the 70s and 60s and 70s. And it's a scary situation. And hopefully there won't be too much loss of life or damage. It's just a horrible situation, and our thoughts go out to those people. I thought that this final vlog tonight would be about New York. And, or Gotham City. I thought that this final vlog tonight would be about New York. And I wanted to, I'm always picking on New York because it is the land of Goldman Sachs Marxists, I deal with all of these super rich elites, and I also am connected to the arts and publishing a bit. And some of them are, there's actually some of them that are okay, There actually are some of them that are okay. The vast majority of them are exactly what you'd expect. But there's some of them that are okay. Not many, but some. And I'm really into tourist rights now. Don't you guys think that after 9/11, so many people from from the regular, as Katie Couric would call them, the great unwashed masses, that they visited New York? After Giuliani, after 9/11, a lot of people who'd never visited New York, and they were treated like crap. I think that that's kind of one of the reasons why the bloom is off the rose, shall we say. But you know what I think? I think that most of the people here now they shouldn't even be here. They've just ruined the city. The city used to be so much fun, and it used to be about real people. It was a much more Tea Party kind of city, as opposed to a city striving for European perfection. It used to be a city for baseball, rock and roll, funky stores, crazy fads, all this music, and movies and trashy movies and publicity stunts, and it was just a wild, fun place. It was never perfect. There was always something wrong with every era in New York, There was always something really wrong with it. But I just thought it was a heck of a lot more fun in the old days. Maybe it's because I was young. But today, I was at home getting ready to go out. I was getting ready to work today. And I was playing The Army You Have, that amazing band that I'm really digging a lot lately. I was playing We Are the Enemy, which if you don't know, you should listen to right away. Go to their site. Just Google The Army You Have and you'll find it. Make a donation while you're there. And they have all their songs there. You can just listen to the MP3s. They're so awesome. Several of the songs that they play, they use as bumper music on the Larry O'Connor show, so you'll recognize them there. And I think that they're just terrific. And I was playing We Are the Enemy here, dancing with my parakeet. And I started thinking of the past, when I was young, and I would listen to all these crazy bands in the 80s it was the kind of stuff that was industrial and all this crazy music that the quote-unquote normal people hadn't heard of. I mean, definitely my family in Michigan hadn't heard of it, I knew some bands that were real. I always end up with the band, you guys. You should know that about me. I'm not like an intentional groupie. I'm kind of like an A-list groupie, I'm invited. But I always end up with that element. I can't help it. It's the Billie Holiday in me. I just always end up. Even as a conservative, I end up with that element. So, And but I'm listening to the music, bopping around the house, singing to the parakeet, and I'm thinking to myself, this is counterculture. This is the new underground. And the people who thought that they were underground and counterculture are now the dominant force, and they were always the shock troops of government, of big government. I mean, they were always, you know, and not the good ones, not people like. I don't think people like the Doors, for example. I don't think Jim Morrison was ever part of the government. I think he was on his own Dionysian Camille Paglia trip. But you know what I'm saying? That whole kind of like the subversion on television. Saturday Night Live. You know, Saturday Night Live, when you look back on it, was always like the voice of the government. They always mocked Republicans more than Democrats. It's just that they could get away with it a little bit less than they can now, you know. And that popular culture that we all grew up on, it got steadily and steadily sicker and weirder, especially in the 90s. The 90s was watershed for that kind of sickness and perversion. Marilyn Manson and all that crazy, weird, dark. That happened in New York too. You know, the club scene got ugly and dark and freaky. It was darker than the 60s and the 90s. It wasn't any fun to go out anymore. It used to be you'd go out and see some wild outfits from some crazy fashion students, and you'd see some, you know, kind of show-offs, you know, a social exhibitionist, they called us, you know, making light of things and having fun. You'd see a crowd, by the way, in those days of conservatives and liberals. You know, it would always be mixed. It was like Ben Stein would be there, you know. It was always a crazy mix of people. Business people were there, along with artists. And that turned into total self-destruction. And instead you were going out watching people kill themselves. And it was not a pleasant scene. But that ugly culture of the left took over, and they are not only in charge, they are forcing everybody to go along with it. Everything is an assault. Everything is an assault on decency, normality, the family, Christ. You know, anything that offers people autonomy, a sense of identity, a sense of individuality. Not identity, that's the wrong word. Individuality is the right word. A sense of individuality. All of that is mocked. And you're just another slave. You're just another slave, background dancer to Lady Gaga. And take it. You know? It's dehumanizing. And that is the dominant culture. The dominant culture is not Lawrence Welk. They act like it still is, but it's not. And I was realizing as I was bopping around to the song by The Army You Have, again, go to their website and donate. I realized when I was bopping to that song that the people I knew in Manhattan had never heard of The Army You Have. They will probably never hear of The Army You Have. If they were to hear it, they might like the song. They would not understand what the lyrics meant at all. It would be totally alien to them. And yet, it was raising my spirits, making me strong, making me feel good, and reminding me of what was important, what I was fighting for, and who I am as an individual. And I really was thinking, isn't that what counterculture is really about? And I think that we need to do more of it, you guys. In my lame way, this is like that to an extent. You know? I think we've got to fight the culture, and then I think, and I've been hearing buzz around this, and I think that, you know, the FAG-SAG is big on this, we got to fight the academy. I'm looking at the upcoming books. They are all liberal. Anything taken seriously by the literary elites is leftist. And the biggest garbage out there is taken seriously by them just because of its politics, you know. Anyway, so be a force of counterculture against this corrupt, slimy regime, and be a force of individuality, and listen to the army you have, you know, and keep dancing and pray for the people with the tornadoes. I'm out of time. Thanks for listening to this audaciously hopeful series of vlogs. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I had recording them. Long-time listeners will know that I'm Batgirl by day, Catwoman by night. And I'll talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.